Over the past few years, the E30 chassis has become super popular for modification. There's a lot of versatility in the chassis, different engine swaps. The chassis is strong enough to hold a lot of power, and we can do a lot of different things. Behind me in the shop today, I have 3 different examples of resto mod and fun with the E30 platform. We've got something a little bit different here, something you've seen before from us here, but has a little twist, and also a restoration over on the left. First, let's jump into something different in the shop. Honda as a brand is not something you see normally here at PSI, but with the K-swap popularity among the automotive industry and the popularity of E30s with K-swaps, we went ahead and took this job on, being a K24 and a 318 E30. This is a cool project because most of the parts are plug and play from different brands like CA Tuned and K-Power, and this is a combination of both of those brands and an unlocked DME. So this mates to the stock M20 manual transmission that would have came in the standard E30, but it has an adapter plate to hook it up, and then all the appropriate motor mounts and all the bracketry to make this engine work. Currently, this is about 80% done. We still have some things to do over here with the intake, have to fill it with coolant. Today, we just loaded in the software so we can get it idling and get it dialed in, and then we need to hide the wires. The cool thing about this is a K-Power car can be turboed and make 500 to 600 horsepower with off-the-shelf parts. And as you Honda guys know, putting power down with a K-Series is pretty easy, and making those big power numbers is also pretty easy as well. So before we even started doing the K24 swap, the customer already delivered a really cool E30 with some really nice parts. There's a Racing Dynamics front splitter, Euro French fogs, ellipsoid smiley headlights that are smoked, and it has a really nice, cool detail and has the seal between the fenders and the hood, which you'll find on a Sport Evo M3. This car is actually on air. It's an airlift system packaged with the CA Tuned front struts and rear coilover design. It also has a period mesh wheel, a gold mesh wheel, and this has Recaros that are Alcantara already put in the car, and he has like the really neat period cup holder. Really nice, well-sorted car. As part of the swap, you have to develop a custom exhaust, which we did in-house with our fabricator. That's the same fabricator that makes all of our mid-pipes for the G80s and all the other work that we do here for our custom cars. That's pretty much it for this. Let me transition into something more Euro. You guys may have seen an earlier video that we made on an E30 convertible with S52 swap. This particular customer saw that video and gave us a call to start his project, and this is gonna be that earlier project turned up a lot more because we're doing a lot more of a complete job on the car. And when I mean complete job, we're doing the engine swap, which you see right in front of me, but we're also doing a full paint job on the car. We're doing all the restoration work underneath with the subframes. We're also doing a full, really cool interior with Shield Mon. So this is gonna be a really nice build over the next months that you'll see progress on the channel. But right now, let me focus on some of the work that's been done, some of the stuff that you guys will see. First step that we took with this car is we actually tore it down. Interior's still in the car, but we went ahead and removed the factory motor, removed everything out of the engine bay, and we actually deleted some of the brackets that come in the engine bay for the M20, which sit around here that hold like the factory airbox and hold some of those components. Now, this is not a completely shaved engine bay like you see sometimes in a show where there's not even seam sealer, there's not even holes, there's not any studs or anything. We just wanted to clean it up and remove some of the parts that I think make it look unfinished. And the engine bay has already been done, and it's already been painted, and it's been painted in the matte finish just like the standard E30s were, and that was done first. And now the second step with the build is we're gonna install the motor 100% complete, get the car running, get the car started and everything. Then it will go to paint to go ahead and do the exterior of the car and do the undercoating and all of that. Right now, we have the engine in. We're obviously sorting the wiring and everything that has to be done, and that takes a little bit of harnesses that are on the shelf from BMW. We also combine it with a couple guys like Condor Harness. There's also one from Castle. And we also actually modify it ourselves to do a couple things that we want to do so it's a little bit more OEM. Once the wiring is done, we'll go ahead and get the fluids and all of the other stuff done. But some of the other really specific details with a build like this is we're doing a resto mod. Obviously, this is an S52 from an E36, but we're also gonna do the AC Solutions AC kit because we are in Florida and this car is gonna live in Miami, so it's super hot all year round there, and it really needs the best AC you can get. This will have standard upgrades. It already has the M50 manifold on it. We went through the motor. It's a great low mileage motor. I think this motor has about 80,000 miles that we found right out of an E36 M3. So let me lift up the car and show you some of the other restoration work that we're completing. Now with the car up in the air, let me show you some things that take the build to the next level in restoration. One of the main things that you'll see underneath the engine is the subframe, obviously which holds the motor, but also bolts up to the control arms. So anytime we do an engine swap like this, where we're removing the subframe, which we did to remove the factory engine, the subframe gets reinforced with the plates, which, because of the age of the car, I mean, this particular customer is not racing, but we wanted to go ahead and go the extra mile and reinforce everything. So this has a standard reinforcement stuff from Condor that we've welded on, but then we powder coat in satin black the front and rear subframes to give it that brand new OEM look, because we already had it out. It also has obviously the brand new motor mounts, control arms. We also do the lines with stainless. This is the clutch line. Moving to the back, you'll see right here is a brand new gas tank from BMW. It's a genuine BMW gas tank for E30. Most of the gas tanks are done, especially in Florida. There's a lot of water in the gas, they rust. So anytime we do these, have a brand new gas tank, we put an upgraded Walbro fuel pump in with upgraded lines for the S52. To come down here, this is the rear subframe and outer arms for the rear suspension, which are also powder coated satin black. And this is all the PowerFlex upgraded urethane bushings and everything that's gonna go into the rear trailing arms and all of that. There's some of the older components there. We have a lot more work to complete on this particular build, and stay tuned. In the future, we'll have updates as we move forward. Now that I've shown you guys two pretty highly modified E30s, let's go down to one that's pretty much bone stock. Here we have the holy grail of E30s, which is the E30 M3 with the original S14 4-cylinder motor. It's 60,000 miles, Alpine white with black interior, which I particularly like. This particular car, as you can see, is totally stock, but it came in because it had electrical issues, some AC issues, and also some noises that we're able to diagnose. And one of the biggest issues it came in for was a really aggressive battery drain, which we traced back to the cluster. This car is from 1988, and the clusters just go bad. And one particular part in the cluster that goes bad are the batteries, which leak and destroy the board. And that's exactly what happened with this car. So we send this out and it gets restored to a brand new main board with lithium batteries, so that'll never happen again. So with the battery drain diagnosed, we also found some rough running conditions with this S14. Let me pop the hood and point those out to you guys. As you guys can see, totally bone stock S14. And when we noticed some of the rough running, we went ahead and did a smoke test, and we identified both of the banks of the intake manifold were leaking right on where it seals up here. So we're going to go ahead and reseal that up. We also addressed an AC issue where the car really wasn't blowing cold, so a quick refrigerant refill did the trick on this car. If you guys want to see more BMW Classic and E30 content, like and subscribe to the page. And if you guys have a restoration project for E30 M3 or Wild Resto Mod E30, give us a call. We'll see you guys next time.